So one of the categories that's become more and more important is working with children especially, but adults as well, after natural disasters. And I understand recently you had an unusual disaster in Poland with tornadoes, which are uncommon here. And many children witnessed other children being injured or dying, animals as well, and trees being uprooted, and they had never seen anything like that before. And they can go into a state of shock. Their eyes get wide and they are braced through their body, and then they can't sleep at night and they worry during the day. And so somatic experiencing teaches how to work with that immediate shock reaction through grounding techniques, through helping children, through making good contact and attunement with them, and helping them to notice what's happening inside the body, to leave the picture of what happened aside, and to pay attention to their own feelings and sensations, so that when they do that and they turn inside with adult support, depending on the age of this child, could be some touch on the back if they're a little tiny child, holding the child in your lap. What happens is once the child feels safe with the adult, they will automatically start shaking and trembling. And the shaking and trembling releases the chemicals of fight and flee that they didn't get to do. Very often they're just frozen in a moment in time of something horrible they saw, and they were helpless. And then if they don't get that first aid, very often it's very difficult for them to focus. They lose attention, they become hypervigilant or depressed. So if you give them immediate first aid and get the shaking and trembling, and then usually with children a tear comes, sometimes the lip trembles, like they're shivering and cold, and then a breath will come. And with that breath, usually the child will then make eye contact with the adult that's with them, whether it's a therapist or a parent, any helper. And sometimes they take another breath. And as they come out of the shaking and the tearfulness, and they return to their body, very often they'll suddenly get very hot, and you'll see their pale face become colorful again. You'll see color in their cheeks as they come out of the shock response. And then very often they'll want to tell the adult what they saw, but they're no longer in shock. And they can say how frightened they were. They can color pictures about how frightened. If they feel like they want to run because they wanted to run away and couldn't, you can have them run in place. And all of that will help to discharge what we call traumatic activation that came from the initial shock, to help them to move out of the way of the tornado, to run or hide or go into a safe place that they may not have been able to do. So that's how you resolve trauma, is by giving an experience of the body to complete the protective responses and to shake off the fear. And then they're fine again. Especially with children, a week later it's like nothing happened. But only if they move through the frozen places and come back into their bodies.